Bella Hadid has recently shared some photos of her in a hospital bed. She's sitting there with a dialysis in her neck, hooked up to her neck, posting photos of her with tears rolling down her face and the cut on her forehead. One is her with an oxygen mask in her hospital bed, throwing up a peace sign. Another one where she's making a cute pouty face with ice over her head. And she captioned it, "I'm sorry I always go MIA. I love you guys." And she also was seen in new photos posted by her mother, Yolanda Hadid, on Instagram, where she appears to be medically incapacitated, embracing her mother in the hospital bed. Some of these are candid photos taken by her mother where she's staring up at the fluorescent hospital ceiling covered in gauze or something, a lot of devices all over her.
So what is her official diagnosis?
So, for the record, Bella Hadid is a sufferer of supposedly the condition chronic Lyme. And there is not a medical consensus that chronic Lyme exists, actually.
Okay.
So, I lean toward it's a disease for rich people who want to feel special and like they are victims. Bella Hadid, as well as her mother, claim to suffer from chronic Lyme. In fact, maybe they claim it's a genetic factor. But here were some of the responses, unrelated to her diagnosis. Not denying she's sick, but why have they taken and posted 200 pictures of her in a hospital from every angle possible?
It is kind of crazy.
Like it's a moment for her, like to do a little fashion shoot or something. And then another one said, "Anytime someone posts themselves crying, I always assume they're the most insufferable person in real life." That is a fair assessment.
Yes.
Because if you're actually in a moment where you're distraught and you're distressed and crying, why would your first thought authentically be like, I'm going to pull out my phone and be like,
I don't even like taking...
"Hi guys, I'm just like really going through hard times right now." And like Selena Gomez in her bathroom style, like crying about ICE deportations. No one reads that as authentic.
Yeah.
And this even more so is just a display of like, feel bad for me even though I'm an elite, ultra wealthy supermodel who was born in wealth and will never know any adversity in my life. This is the one claim that you have to going through any hardship that other people can relate to.
Remember, this is why Justin Timberlake's tour almost got postponed.
Exactly.
Chronic Lyme disease.
He's another celebrity that claims to have chronic Lyme, as does Avril Lavigne and many others. And it's something that you see time and time again. This is a pattern amongst celebrities. They claim to have fibromyalgia, chronic Lyme, a lot of autoimmune disorders. Not saying that all of those things are fake or that all of their claims are fake. I'm just saying when you see a pattern, you can't help but notice a lot of the people claiming to have these diseases are famous.
Also these days, they're like in their late 30s and they're like, I was finally diagnosed with ADHD and now it all makes sense.
that too. Yeah. Another response said, "The most annoying person you know will use this as their profile picture." Facts. And this is a take that I wholeheartedly agree with. There is some Gypsy Rose Blanchard level Munchausen's by proxy going on between Bella Hadid and her mother, Yolanda Hadid. Because of the way that they posted these photos together, like her mother needs to be a part of her sickness in a way. Like she needs to be seen as the suffering mother who is sacrificing so much for her suffering daughter. Another response said this whole family has medical psychosis. Yolanda Hadid is also known for creating the almond mom trope, which, if you don't recall, we've discussed before. When Bella was getting into the modeling industry, she obviously was above sample size. She was not a 0 or 2. She was just a normal size girl, and she had to be a certain size to qualify for these jobs, especially runway modeling. So her mother advised her, if she were so hungry that she felt like she were about to faint, what she ought to do is take an almond and then maybe like cut the almond in half, split the almond in half, and then take that half of the almond and then chew it very slowly. That's her life hack for if you feel like you're about to faint from low blood sugar. And also you can see this collage of selfies that Bella has taken over the years of her crying with IVs hooked up in her arm, or not, just crying in general. She's always got something going on, but that front camera will be open and ready to capture the moment, the vulnerability.
I'm just picturing the doctors like trying to help her, and they're like, "Could you put the phone down, please? Could you put the phone down, please?"
She stays using her sickness as an aesthetic. Okay, we get it. Girl, nothing is wrong with you. OMG, just eat. That's another theory here, is that while Bella Hadid might wholeheartedly believe she has chronic Lyme or some other autoimmune disorder, she might be mistaking her symptoms for symptoms of chronic malnutrition that is self-imposed because of the line of work she is in. And in reality, maybe when she has these relapses of this autoimmune disorder, it's actually her body breaking down because she's not nourishing herself. And they have posted in the past screenshots of her medical documents. Thank you. This is giving me like Royal Pains vibes.
Wait, why? Oh, the show?
Yeah. Because when they posted these medical documents and you actually read into it, you can tell that if you're in a certain tax bracket, you can just go to a doctor and get them to diagnose you with literally anything, and you can get them to prescribe you literally anything.
I will not take the Hank Lawson slander. Hank would never give you medications.
The clientele. The clientele is the same as the show. And in this photo that they shared from her medical documents years ago, they describe her symptoms. They say she has been ill for more than 1.5 years. She is extremely exhausted and depressed and doesn't want to attend school anymore. She feels ill all the time and has memory problems. She suffers from fatigue that is made worse by physical exercise, attention deficit disorder, calculation difficulties, memory disturbances, frequently saying the wrong word, depression, sleep disorders, numbness or tingling sensations, headaches, disequilibrium, lightheadedness, nightmares, ringing in the ears, muscular weakness, intolerance to bright lights, non-restorative sleep, painful lymph nodes, muscle and joint aches, night sweats, palpitations, PMS, chest pain, cold hands, cold feet, multiple sensitivities to food, and the symptoms are worsened by extremes in temperature. So that could describe literally anything.
Yeah.
And nothing all at once.
Yeah.
And another person pointed out it's kind of genius to come up with a fake disease to distract from your death-defying anorexia. Another person has the theory that she does this to get away from the public eye when she needs plastic surgery. She got her first plastic surgery procedure at only 14 years old with the permission of her mother. She got a rhinoplasty that she now claims she regrets. But they said still believing in chronic Lyme disease with no relation to the actual Lyme disease you get from ticks is crazy. Everyone who claims to have it either wants time away to get plastic surgery or is on heroin.
Well, okay then.
There are those like, here's the thing. There are these like special ticks that only are native to Martha's Vineyard. There's special Martha's Vineyard ticks that give you special Lyme.
Don't tell Olivia, because like she always points out when we're out here, she gets bit by every mosquito ever. But whenever we go anywhere else, it doesn't happen.
Weird.
I do want to point out I'm not a hypocrite. I have in fact taken a picture at a hospital before, so I did do that when I was there with my broken finger or my dislocated finger the last time.
Well, you have good spirits.
Yes, I was in good spirits.
You look like you're being positive about the situation. But other people were theorizing about why she believes her sickness is some sort of aesthetic for an Instagram carousel post.
Yeah, I didn't take a carousel. That's the thing. I didn't go like this.
That's a different animal.
I didn't put my head down and take one.
Right. One person said they romanticized tuberculosis in the 1800s. consumption chic, as it's now called. It permanently changed our beauty standards, and it's likely why we prefer thin, frail bodies, carved jawlines, glassy eyes, hollow, flushed pink cheeks, sunken eyes, and even red lips. I don't fully buy into that theory, but clearly this is going to be used on a bunch of girls' like Tumblr blogs and Pinterest boards because sickness is an aesthetic for them.
Why your white Western beauty standards are the way they are.
Like the way that, you know, a certain corner of Twitter that is dedicated to like, you know, eating disorder communities is going to latch onto this and make it into aesthetic posts. You can already see it happening. But yeah, another person pointed out the IV on her neck goes directly to the heart. It's not a regular IV. It's a central line. Everyone who rags on her for claiming she has chronic Lyme disease, but she is deeply in pain right now, gives some grace.
Okay.
And like, I agree that she's probably fully convinced that she has a chronic illness. I just don't know if that's something that you should just allow someone to lean into when it's not the truth.
Well, even if it's the truth, I mean, you kind of have to operate on their playing field, which is that they've made it a public spectacle. Therefore, people are going to have their opinions. It's the same thing that we were talking about. The local, your friend from high school who never left town, who every 6 months posts a picture of their wristband from the hospital saying, "Don't ask," when really what it's inviting is for you to be like, well, you said not to, but what happened?
Yeah, like it's like, I'm taking a social media break. Don't HMU.
Yeah.
I'm going through something right now. Making your profile picture just like blacking out your profile picture and removing your bio and just putting a dot.
Delete your Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. You'll be happier for it.
And they had a reality show as well where her diagnosis with chronic Lyme became a major plot line in the show, which represented a breakthrough moment in pop culture Lyme disease awareness. I can't get over the wording of that. That's just insane. An insane sentence. None of these words are in the Bible. And it's also her brother, Anwar Hadid, claims to have chronic Lyme disease as well.
So it's communicable.
Some people think that it's genetically passed down from parents, like in utero. There's also Avril Lavigne, Kelly Osbourne, Crystal Hefner, the wife of Rob Thomas, named Marisol, also Justin Timberlake, of course. Bella Hadid gave a speech in the midst of a relapse of chronic Lyme in which she said she hadn't been able to write anything to say. And the hardest part about having Lyme disease, she told the crowd, was people not believing she had Lyme disease. My biggest struggle every day is people telling me that maybe I have Munchausen. How can she look this is insane that she said this out loud. How can she look so beautiful and be so sick?
Well, she's saying that other people are saying that, but still, that's crazy work.
I mean, I'm sure someone said that at some point, but to say it in a speech in front of like a whole crowd of
when people. She wrote it, she's like, yeah, go off,
and
queen.
people are always this is the hardest thing about having a debilitating illness, is that people are always saying that like I'm so beautiful, and like they just don't understand how someone as ravishingly beautiful as me could possibly suffer from this disease. And like, it's just so hard sometimes.
Hot people get sick too.
Hot girls, we have problems too. We're just like you, except we're hot. Look up that song, by the way, if you have not seen it. Yeah, and then how can she be in bed 7 days a week and then show up to work? Well, I did. And then, to thunderous applause, here's what she said. Because I'm a badass Dutch girl, but it wasn't easy. I'm sorry, this is fake as fuck. This is fake.
I can't.
I don't believe you're a hashtag Lyme warrior. And don't make me pull up the clip where these two women on a podcast
talk about the spiritual...
say that Lyme disease is for the most deeply spiritual people on the planet. Okay? You're insane. Should we pull up the clip? Do you think we should pull up the clip? We can.
If you can find it.
Yeah, sure. I'll look it up right now. But there is this community that is formed around Lyme disease, and mostly women in their 20s and 30s and 40s, claim that this ties them together in some spiritual sense. And in a way, when you get Lyme disease, it marks you to some sort of like supernatural realm. I just sent you the link to the,
wow, you
to
got
the
it
video.
like really quick. Hold on.
They're talking about this insight from a so-called medical intuitive.
I worked with a medical intuitive, and she said every time she sees someone with Lyme, it's an intergalactic substance, and it's literally bringing in codes from the beginning of time.
Yes.
I know.
I believe this. This gives me chills down my entire body.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it in those exact words before, but I'm often trying to say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I love the
Lyme's a
corporate
gift.
training
Yes.
music in the
Yeah.
It
background.
is not for the faint of heart.
No.
And it is for the most deeply spiritual people
Yes.
on the planet.
Yes. I worked with a
That's me. That's me. I am deeply spiritual person.
This is the rallying cry of the Lyme warrior. Ugh.
Okay.
The health psychosis stuff, that's real. There are communities of people online who, it's like the fuck a toaster meme. You know, like back in the day, before the internet, before social media was reaching mass adoption, you might have had a weird thought like, you know, I'm connected to an intergalactic substance, and you would just kind of brush it off, and maybe your dad would call you gay.
Yeah.
And then now you can just search up those keywords and find a whole community of people who will validate you in your delusion. And that goes for literally anything, any sexual urge that you may have, a fetish, or a rare, possibly fake disease like chronic Lyme. And I personally don't believe it exists. If anyone would like to debate me on that, feel free.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.